Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkrpatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Paramanandamadhavam.
Verse 42. Evamatmaranau dhyana mathane satatam krite uditavagatir jvala sarvajnanendhanam dahet arune neva bodhena purvam santamase hrite tat avirbhavedatma swayamevamshumaniva atma tu satatam praptopi apraptavadavidyaya tannashe praptavad bhati swakanthabharanam yatha.
All right. So here we have two important ideas. The first idea is knowledge only removes ignorance. It does not reveal the self. That's the first idea, first concept. So I was thinking what example I can think to help you understand. Of course, in the group discussion, I saw all of you have understood quite well and you explained the points also. One example we gave the example at the time of the dream lion waking up the dreamer. And it cannot do anything more than that. It cannot reveal the waker. Because at that time, the dream lion ends with the dream. And when the waker is there, you don't have the dream lion. So that example we use. Consider this example. Suppose there is a pot. And that pot is covered by a thick blanket. Pot is covered by a thick blanket. Which thick, very thick. No light can go in, come out, full covered. Suppose you want to see that pot. What is required? Remove the blanket and put some light. You remove the blanket and then you have a torch or something or put on the light. So 2 steps are required. Remove and then put light. But suppose instead of the pot, you have a light. And that is covered with a thick blanket. Now to see that light, 2 steps are not required. 1 step. What is required? Remove the blanket. And then, to see that light, you don't need a light. Because it is light. In the same way, to see the self, what is required? That ignorance should be removed, that's all. Why? Because self is self-lit. Self is self-lit. Self is effulgence. Right? Are you getting this example? So, the effort required is not to reveal the self. The effort required is only to remove the covering of the self. Remove the ignorance covering the self. To light the self, you don't need anything. So, knowledge is required what for? To remove ignorance. Knowledge is not required to reveal the self. Because it is not an inert object. It is a swaprakasha chaitanya. This example fits. Next important point which is taken up here is that it is not that the self is gained newly. The self is myself. So far I have not paid attention to myself. I have only paid attention to the body, to the world around. Maximum I have paid attention up to jiva. I am so and so. In other words, my attention is on the effects of ignorance. So that attention on the effects of ignorance has prevented me from paying attention to myself. But all the time I am there. I have never disappeared. God is ever there. This is God, okay? When I say Sat-chid-Ananda, that is Bhagavan. Don't think Bhagavan is other than this Sat-chid-Ananda. This is Bhagavan. But then what? I am not paying attention to this Bhagavan. So, when the ignorance is removed by knowledge, and then the self is self-shining. Now the self is self-shining. Therefore, there is no question of absence of experience of self. It's because self is self and it is self-experienced. Now, can you say that you have gained the self? No. The self was ever there. Now I have the attention on the self. That's all. So self is when I am inattentive, non-attentive on the self, I am ignorant. When I am attentive of the self, then there is no problem. My nature is Sat-chid-Ananda. That is never lost. That is never lost. Example given, Swakanta-bharanam yata. As the abharana, kanta-bharana. Kanta-bharana is necklace. The necklace was always there. It was never lost. So what is happening by knowledge? By knowledge, I recognize that it was never lost. And that is why we say Nitya Mukta, Nitya Buddha. ever enlightened. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swaroopa. That is my nature. Nitya Shuddha. Never did it become dirty. Just because you think that you are the jiva doesn't mean the dirt of the jiva ever came to that self. Nitya Shuddha. Just because you think you do not know the self doesn't mean self is not there. Self is even then self-lit. Only you are not paying attention to it. Nitya Buddha. Just because you think you are jiva doesn't mean that you are, that self has got samsara. Self is totally free of samsara. Nitya Mukta. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupaya Namaha. That is that Swarupa. I offer my salutations to that Supreme Lord. Who is that Supreme Lord? Just my inner self, myself, pure self, which I am not seeing. And then I am saying, I am in search of God. I am now a mumukshu, searching for God. I am searching for liberation. God is saying, hey, look at me, please. Look at me. Please look at me. Look at me. I am here only. You please look at me. And we are saying, where? We are using our senses to see the Lord. We can never see. I am going for yatra, tirtha yatra. Where? To see Bhagwan. Bhagwan is laughing. I am with you only. Wherever you are going, I am with you only. And there also you go to Bhagwan. And when they show Bhagwan to you, natatra suryo bhati ding 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 ding, and then they show the light. What are you doing at that time? You are closing your eyes. Why? Because that Bhagwan is the inner self. Quieten the mind and see the Lord within. That is the significance of Arti. Arti is religion. This is philosophy. Can you see that? Connection between philosophy and religion? This is religion. What is religion? Ding, 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 ding. Meaning what? Don't hear any other sound except the sound of this call for seeing the self. That bell is to say, shut off the mental noise. That is bell. And that light is what? Knowledge. Light to show Bhagavan. Arti is being taken. Now when the Arti is being taken, even if the baby child is there with the mother and the child is looking at God, mother will say, close your eyes, close your eyes. Close your eyes. But light is shown to see God. Close your eyes. Because you can't see God with that outer light. You have to see God with the inner light. This is philosophy. So philosophy is what? Philosophy is a practicalization of that knowledge. That very knowledge, you are putting it as a practical. It's a practicals. Okay? Atma tu satatam praptaha. But yet, apraptavad avidyaya. Because of ignorance, it feels as though this Atman is not there. And we're taking the whole journey to reach the self. All that we are doing with all the sadhanas is what finally? Tanashe, the destruction of this ignorance. And when the ignorance is destroyed, then we say self-realization, we say. Actually, that is what? It is again knowing that this abharana necklace was never lost. It was ever on my neck. Even when I was searching, it was on my neck. When I find it out, again it is my neck. What was the change then? The change is only the movement from ignorance to knowledge. That's the only thing which has changed. Nothing otherwise has changed. Because now you have found the necklace, it doesn't mean one more bead is added to the necklace. Because you thought the necklace was lost, it doesn't mean that 2-3 beads went away. It was the same. When you do not know the self, when you did not know the self is Satchidananda. When you know the self remains Satchidananda. I have been always Satchidananda in ignorance and knowledge. Okay? Atma tu satatam praptopi apraptavada vidyaya tannashe praptavad bhati swakanta bharanam yata. So what exactly happened in ignorance? What exactly happens in knowledge? Both these Bhagavan Shankaracharya explains in the next two verses. Sthaanau
स्थाणौ पुरुषवद् भ्रान्त्या कृता ब्रह्मणि जीवता जीवस्य तात्विके रूपे तस्मिन् दृष्टे निवर्तते. स्थाणौ पुरुषवद् भ्रान्त्या कृता ब्रह्मणि जीवता जीवस्य तात्विके रूपे तस्मिन् दृष्टे निवर्तते.
Two verses, yes.
तत्त्वस्वरूपानुभवात्
Anubhavaat
उत्पन्नं ज्ञानमञ्जसा
pannam jnaana-manjasa
अहं ममेति चाज्ञानम् बाधते dig-bhrama-aadi-vat
bhadate dig-bhrama-aadi-vat
तत्त्वस्वरूपानुभवात् उत्पन्नं ज्ञानमञ्जसा अहं ममेति चाज्ञानं बाधते dig-bhrama-aadi-vat.
Right. So, what exactly happened? If you look at the whole thing, what exactly happened in ignorance? What exactly happens in knowledge? Bhagavan Shankaracharya gives an example. He says, Sthaanau purusha-vat bhraantyaa. Brahmantyaa, because of ignorance, because of delusion, imagination. What has happened? In Sthaanau, you see Purusha. What is Sthaanau and what is Purusha? Purusha is a human being. What is Sthaanau? Sthaanau is post. Post. So in a post, how you can see a human being? Post, can you see human being? Usually, rope snake, shell silver, that is all fine. Desert mirage. Post man, how? What is post here? Sthaanau is Pallava Shaka Vihina Taruhu. What, Swamiji? Pallava, you know? Branches, leaves and all. Pallava is leaf. Shaka, branch. Vihina, not there, without. Taru, tree. A tree without branches and leaves. But why it is like that, Swamiji? You see, in those days, when they used to use firewood, even now, probably in some places, many places, when they used to have firewood for cooking, so what they would do is that around the hut, they would put these trees which grow very fast. Very fast they grow. And what does the lady do? The lady every day, what she does is that she goes, cuts those branches, trims those leaves, takes it inside and uses as firewood for cooking. And for other purposes also, even boiling water, so many purposes they use this. The man who was gone, the man of the house was gone for work to the fields, he returns back in the evening. And from distance he sees, hey, who is that fellow standing near the window? Two hands like this. from distance in that semi-darkness. Some robber, some thief. Ayyo, I have to alert my wife. Then he tries going in a different way so that this fellow who from this window can't see. And finally he goes inside. Careful, thief outside. Thief outside. But no sound, nothing is coming. I'm here only. Wait. He takes his knife out. Again goes there and then sees, Arey. He comes and says, did you cut the tree? He says, yes. Sthaanau purusha-vat. In that Sthaanau. Because, people won't understand. Post man. It is not rhyming so well also. So if you see, I do not know in your book what is written there, how the translation is. Swamiji changed it. Gurudev, he changed it. He did not say man in the post. Ghost in the post. Can you see that? Post ghost. This was a new addition. Post ghost. Sthaanau purusha-vat bhraantyaa. This is what exactly has happened. Kritaa brahmani jeevataa. In your own self, in that Supreme Brahman, in that sat-chid-aadi-dharmatvam swaroopa, you are seeing that individual. It's only in imagination. Nothing has actually changed. Jeevasya taattvike roope tasmin drishte. Jeevasya tasmin jeevasya tasmin taattvike roope drishte. In that jiva. Now you clearly see that man is nothing but a post. Finally you come to see. Then what happened to that man? What happened to the thief? The moment you see that it is nothing but a post, and what happens to the thief? Nivartate. It just goes away. Where did it go away? Where did the thief go away? Did the thief go into the house? Did the thief go somewhere else? Did the thief, because you brought that knife, ran away somewhere? No. It was never there. It was never there, first of all. Never there. Where will it go? Nivartate. It just ends. It just ceases. The experience of jiva bhava just goes away. That's all. You cannot ask, where did it go away? Did it go into Brahman? Did it run away somewhere? Once you know your real nature, once you know I am not a jiva, where will the jiva go? It just ends. That's all. Sthaanau purusha-vat bhraantyaa kritaa brahmani jeevataa jeevasya taattvike roope tasmin drishte tate Tattva swaroopa utpannam jnaanam anjasa aham mama iti ajnanam badate. Anjasa means quickly, immediately, without any time lag. Badate. Example, dig-bhrama-aadi-vat, like the confusion of directions. Let me explain this one. Tattva swaroopa anubhavaat. Or the example, let us see first. Suppose you have come to a place night time. You have reached a place. Did you all reach daytime or night time here? Evening or night? Night. Suppose you reach a place night time. When you reach a place night time, they given a room. Probably let us say a hotel room you are given. Then you go, you settle down, put your baggage, everything. And then, suppose let us say you are a person who does your daily puja and all, and you're carrying your altar with you. Sorry, you're carrying the altar with you. Now, after putting your bed and arranging everything, now you want to take your altar. And then you wonder, which is east? East. पता नहीं. You keep it the altar. Keep it with you. Let us see morning. Then you go to sleep. Then you get up in the morning. You open the curtain. There is sun. East. Now when you have found out east, you won't have any doubt which is west. You won't have any doubt which is north, which is south. Yes. Everything. Finding one, all your doubts have gone away. You found only sun rising in the east. Sun rises in the east. Sun rises in the east. Now, once you know what is east, then any doubt about which is south, north, east, west, everything goes away. In the same way, by the knowledge of one Tattva, by the knowledge of reality, by the knowledge of the nature of the reality, Tattva swaroopa anubhavaat, experience, not just intellectual knowledge, experience, actual experience. Not depending on somebody is telling you, this is east. Actually, you yourself have seen. It is your personal experience. Doubtless it is. Then what happens? The knowledge which rises out of this personal experience of oneself, of the reality, anjasa, quickly, no delay, quickly, what does it do? All delusions of I am the body. All delusions. This is mine. This is hers. This is... all those things are gone. No I, no my. Jati niti kula gotra duragam nama roopa guna dosha varjitam desha kala vishayati vartiyat brahma-tattvamasi bhavayatmani. I am a brahmana, I am a kshatriya, I am a vaishya, I am a shudra. I am educated, I am uneducated. I am an ignorant person, I am a very knowledgeable person. I am a great dharmavan. I have done worst crimes possible. I can't even tell you. If I tell you what all I have done, you would not have taken me for this camp. All kinds of ignorant notions about oneself. We have a million notions about ourselves. All of them are ignorant only. Even if you say, I am good, it is ignorance. Even if you say, I am bad, that is also ignorance. Everything is ignorance. Any notion we have about ourselves. Sat-chid-aadi-dharmatvam is not a notion. It is a direct experience. Everything else is imagined. Sat-chid-aadi-dharmatvam is my swaroopa. Swaroopa never goes away. All kinds of properties we imagine of ourselves based on our actions, based on our thoughts, based on our words, based on our past history. Our past history, the upadhi's past history. Punya, papa also coming to us from janma to janma. And the janma and marana, birth and death are also with the upadhis only. What do I have? See what a freedom it is. Absolute freedom. Absolute freedom. All of them. Bhadate. Jnaanam bhadate. It puts an end. Like how dig-bhrama-aadi-vat. Like the delusion or like the various notions or confusion. Like the confusion of the directions when you know that this is east, the sun has risen here, and you are seeing with your own eyes. Okay? Tattva swaroopa-anubhavaat utpannam jnaanam aham mameti cha jnaanam badhate dig-bhrama-aadi-vat. What is the perception of this jnani? What is his perception of the self-realized master? This is taken up in the next two verses. Let us read them.
Samyak vijnaana-vaan yogi Swatmanyevakhilam jagat Ekam cha sarvamatmanam Ikshate jnaana-chakshushaa Atmaivedam jagat sarvam Atmano nyanna vidyate Mridoyad vad ghat-aadeeni Swatmanam sarvamikshate Samyak vijnaana-vaan yogi Swatmanyevakhilam jagat Ekam cha sarvamatmanam Ikshate jnaana-chakshushaa Atmaivedam jagat sarvam Atmano nyanna vidyate Mridoyad vad ghat-aadeeni Swatmanam sarvamikshate.
Samyak vijnaana-vaan yogi. So who is a yogi? Today is Yoga Day, right? International Yoga Day. Who is a yogi? The word yoga comes from the root yuj, which means to unite. Unite. U-N-I-T-E. I think you must be knowing. Yoga means to unite. Who uniting with whom? You uniting with the self. This is called as jeevatma becoming one with Paramatma. Today I consider myself to be an individual. I no more consider myself to be an individual, but I am one with the Paramatma. This is yoga. The final yoga. Final yoga. This is the final yoga. And for this, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, these are the initial steps. Pratyahara, dharana. Dharana means focus. First you focus. Then dhyana. We have studied. Then samadhi. Samadhi is of two types. Savikalpa samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi. Then what is samadhi? Where you put yourself fully. Where you are absorbed in that. In other words, this person who has gained yoga is a yogi. And anybody who is practicing for that also, working for that also, we call that person yogi. He has only now joined MBBS. 1 month over, he is going to college and coming. In the home, they start calling him, our doctor has come. And he just now is not even so much, 5 years is there. And afterwards, house surgeoncy, so many things are there. Then only he will become a doctor. But now itself, we start calling him doctor. This fellow is very good in doing shavasana. We call him yogi. Why? Started. All right. This is the path of Ashtanga Yoga. Then you have the path of Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? Doing one's duties to perfection. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Have you watched today the Prime Minister's address on the Yoga Day? You watch. You'll quote all these. He'll quote all these things. Yogaha karmasu, from Bhagavad Gita it is. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. What is karmasu? Karmasu, in action, perfection. Doing it with your full heart and soul. And then dedicating it to God. Dedicating it to God means what? Even when you do the actions to full perfection, you say, Bhagavan, this capacity, ability, you have given. This body, this mind, everything is your grace. Through what you have given, I am only serving you. Tera tujhko arpan. This kind of, and when you give something to God, to your most dear Lord, will you give anything which is substandard? No. You'll give the best. So making your actions best and offering it to the Lord as your worship, puja, this is karma yoga. Yoga. Bhakti yoga. What is bhakti yoga? The same Lord as Bhagavan Rama, as Krishna, you worship. And who is this Rama finally? Is Atma Rama. Who is this Krishna finally? This Krishna is also finally that Sat-chid-Ananda swaroopa. Sat-chid-Ananda roopaya vishvotpannam tapatraya vinashaya Shri Krishnaya vayam numaha. So that final Lord who is beyond names and forms, for the purpose of upasana, for the purpose of worship, we give a name and form, which is finally you give up also and you say, Bhagavan, you are my Atma. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati. Hey Arjuna, I am in your heart. Arjuna, aham Atma Gudakesha. Gudakesha is a name for Arjuna. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, aham Atma, I am the self. So you take this bhakti yoga and finally you reach also the same yoga union. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, ashtanga yoga, and then what is other yoga? Jnana yoga. What you are doing is jnana yoga now. Shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Finally, the goal of all these is what? The yoga. This is path. That is the goal. The goal is also yoga, the path is also yoga. Meaning, through this path, you reach that final union. So today we have understood what is yoga. Is it not? What is yoga? The goal, the path. Both we have seen. So this yogi, who's a yogi now? Samyak vijnaana-vaan yogi. This yogi who has samyak. Samyak means without any doubt. Clearly. Not just clearly he has understood. Vijnaana-vaan. Vishesha jnana. Vijnana. What is Vishesha jnana? Not just intellectual knowledge, but actual experiential wisdom. Not that somebody told you this is east. You opened the curtain and saw for yourself, yes, this is east. Personal experience. Not going by faith and trust. Yes, faith and trust was required in the earlier phase when you started. But you cannot end in mere faith and trust. You have to fulfill faith and trust by actual experience. Then is faith required? No, you are the proof of it. Faith when you start, and as you start experiencing, you see that faith, what you had, is true. And finally, when you come to the total experience, you are the proof for that. Every Jnani Mahatma is a proof of Adhyatma Vidya. They are the living proof for it. And from their experience and from their wisdom, when they speak, we are all also convinced, yes. And we also, yes, this is where I have to go. We also walk the path. But you should not always have only faith. You should finally come to your own experience also. faith should culminate in experience. Shraddha reaches its fulfillment in anubhuti. Such a yogi, what is his experience? Swatmani eva akilam jagat sarvam ekam atmanam ikshate. Ikshate, he perceives, he experiences. What is his experience? Swatmani, in the self. Akilam jagat, this entire world of infinite space and time, of objects of enormous variety. Such variety is there in this world that one person's thumb impression is not the same as the other person's thumb impression. Wow. Such a variety is there in this creation. And all this variety we analyze and then we create subjects. Botany, zoology, physics, chemistry, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry, aquatic animals, then terrestrial animals, amphibians. Just because we are able to categorize them, we think we are wise. But every time they discover new and new things. In fact, there are so many things remaining undiscovered even now. We may have gone to moon, but we have not explored the most deepest portions of the ocean. One flight went somewhere into the ocean. We have not found out where it has gone. So much remains undiscovered and unseen. Only in one planet, where we are all sitting and eating and living all our lives and having children and growing. So much is there in this whole cosmos. And like that, how many cosmoses? Cosmos after cosmos after cosmos. This entirety, this jnani sees as what? Sees only in his self. Sees only in his self means what? Swamiji, there's no space in his heart. No. He doesn't think himself as the body, mind and intellect. The infinite self. And all of them are what? Budbudhani vaparini. Sarvam, all he sees as what? Ekam atmanam. He sees all in himself and all as himself. There is no difference between himself and the entire world. Ikshate, he sees. This is his experience. In other words, the jnani does not think something as other than him. Swamiji, why are you saying something other than him? You should say something other than her. Pavam people fighting on all these kind of useless nonsense. There's neither him nor her, only oneself is there. All kinds of things. And how is this experience possible? Jnaana-chakshushaa, through the eyes of knowledge. Through the eyes of knowledge, through the eyes of experience, through the eyes of wisdom. He has opened the third eye. Shiva opened the third eye. We have two eyes. These are what? Charma-chakshu. Charma-chakshu. And then we have one eye, that is jnana-chakshu, which is closed now. For Shiva it is open. That is why when Shiva opens the third eye, the whole world burns. What do you mean whole world burns? What is the meaning of it? It means the whole world loses its existence. Because for the jnani, there is no world. There is only self. This is the symbolism of the third eye. So that Shiva you worship. Why? so that you become that Shiva. Ekam cha sarvam atmanam ikshate jnaana-chakshushaa. Lord Shiva opens the third eye. Meaning what? The entire world becomes bhasma. Is it not? Lord Shiva opens the third eye. Whole world. Bhasma means what? Goes to dust. It vanishes. When the jnani opens his eye, or when you open your third eye, the world ends. The world ends means what? There's no world other than you. That is the end of the world. Atmaivedam jagat sarvam atmanonyatna kinchana. This whole world is self alone. Speaking of the jnani's experience, today for us when we hear all those things, it looks like an idea, an ideal. One day, yes, one day. We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome one day. Today, now, if this knowledge is there, that is the end of it. That is the completion. Atmaivedam jagat sarvam. This entire world is self alone. Is self alone? Is this I, sat-chid-aadi-dharmatvam alone. Not the small I, but the bigger I. Atmanaha anyat na kinchana. Other than the self, there is nothing. There is only self. Ekameva advitiyam. Have you heard this line? Ekameva advitiyam. For the ekta nyas also it is there, right? What is there? Sarvam kalvidam brahma. Sarvam kalvidam brahma. All this is Brahman alone. Whether you say all this is Brahman alone or all this is Atman alone, all this is Sat-chid-Aadi-dharmatvam. These are two different terms, that's all. We say that Sat-chid-Aadi-dharmatvam is Atma because that is our self. We say that Sat-chid-Aadi-dharmatvam is Brahma because it is infinite. Brahvatvat Brahma. Atmaivedam jagat sarvam atmanaha anyat na kinchana. Like what? Mridaha yadvad ghat-aadeeni. Mridaha yadvad ghat-aadeeni. Like how every pot, every plate, every whatever utensil which is made of clay is clay alone. Other than clay, you cannot get anything there. It may be called as a plate, but it's clay. It may be called as a pot, but it is only clay. You remove pot, you remove clay, there is no pot. You remove clay, there is no plate. You remove anything, there is that utensil is not there. Can you say there is other than Sat-chid-Aadi-dharmatvam anything? Nothing. You remove existence, the whole world will crumble to nothingness. That existence is me. In this way, swatmanam sarvam ikshate. This jnani sees all as himself alone. You know, when Swamiji was speaking to us, we say he was speaking to us, that is our limitation. He, us. And Gurudev was speaking, Chennai or Mumbai or Bangalore or so many, any place, thousands of people. At those times, thousands. No hall can accommodate. So open air. Thousands of it. Sometimes in Chennai and all, I think, I don't know how many thousands, 9,000, 10,000. Bombay also, Bangalore, thousands of people. pin drop silence will be there. Total silence. And every person sitting there feels he's talking to me. Me. It's not like a lecture given and then people sit. No. Everyone used to felt that he's addressing me. Directly to me. And everyone felt close to Gurudev. 10,000 people sitting, how can everyone be close? But felt close. I'm saying, because I've seen close. Why? Because a jnani connects with each one very closely. Because the other person is not other person. The other person is the self alone. That was the experience we all had. Atmaivedam jagat sarvam atmanaha anyatna kinchana mrudaha yadvad ghat-aadeeni swatmanam sarvam ikshate. This person is called as a Jivan Mukta. That is the next verse. Very interesting verse.
Jivan muktastu tad vidwan poorva-upaadhi-gunaan tyajet sat-chid-aadi-dharmatvam bhavet bhramara-keeta-vat Jivan muktastu tad vidwan poorva-upaadhi-gunaan tyajet sat-chid-aadi-dharmatvam bhavet bhramara-keeta-vat.
Tadvidwan Jivan Muktaha. Only such a Vidwan. Tadvidwan stu Jivan Muktaha. Only such a person, such a knower is a Jivan Mukta. Who is a Jivan Mukta? Poorva-upaadhi-gunaan tyajet. Those upadhis, which earlier in ignorance were considered to be oneself. The body was taken to be oneself. And taking the body to be oneself, one had the feeling, I am man or woman. Born in a particular family, one had the feeling that I am a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, etc., etc. Born in a particular place, one has the feeling that I belong to this state, that state. Born in a certain country, one thinks that I belong, I am this state, I am this country, I am that country. And I am this person, Indian person, US, I am then Japanese, I am a Chinese. And not only that, of the mind, identified with the mind, all the thoughts of the mind. When the anger comes, I am angry. This was an experience before, as a jiva. Poorva-upaadhi-gunaan. This jnani tyajet. No more he has got any limitation, any identification. His union with the self is so much, one, so complete, that this whole world is not even a family, is he himself. In other words, every object, every being, every person, anyone, anywhere, sinner, saint, good, bad, he has no differentiation. He has only the knowledge that I am everything, I am everyone. Why? Sat-chid-ananda roopatvat. Because his nature now is Sat-chid-ananda. How did this person become so completely different? How did the jiva now? He was also a jiva before. Now, totally given up that. Now, what is the nature? Sat-chid-ananda. How did this change happen? It is like what? Bhramara-keeta-vat. Bhramara-keeta. Keeta means worm. Bhramara-keeta means what? That keeta becoming a bhramara. Bhramara. Keeta becoming bhramara. The worm becoming butterfly. What is this? The caterpillar, how it becomes a butterfly. Caterpillar is eating all leaves and all. The butterfly drinks the honey. Wow. Caterpillar crawls. Butterfly flies. Caterpillar, butterfly, wow, beautiful. Caterpillar touches you, ayyo, itching, scratching. Butterfly, you only wish it comes and sits on you. But remember, it is a caterpillar which was earlier this despicable, this most irritable and most unwanted. It is that caterpillar which alone is the butterfly. But what was caterpillar? What is butterfly? Totally different. It's not just different. You can't imagine how the caterpillar can be butterfly. The first time someone told me when I was very young, they said butterfly was earlier caterpillar. I said no, not possible. No. Then in the school they taught me it has got different stages. There is something called metamorphosis. Yes, caterpillar only is butterfly. But it undergoes the stage of thorough meditation. Is it not? Total silence. Undisturbed silence. Solitary. Under the leaf. Nobody knows. Nobody has seen. Unknown to the world. That sadhaka is in deep samadhi, where the caterpillar's entire system, the whole system undergoes a total change. Total change. And comes out with wings so beautiful and flies in the pure heavenly space in total freedom. So a sadhaka goes through Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasana and transforms from the despicable jiva to the Supreme Brahman. And you can't see the connection. No connection. Connection is there. Jivan-muktastu tad-vidvan poorva-upaadhi-gunaan styajet sat-chid-aadi-dharmatvam bhavet bhramara-keeta-vat. Shall I give you one more way of looking at it? Brahmara is also wasp. Wasp. You know wasp? I haven't seen. I don't know what you call. In Tamil we call kolavi. Bhavara. Okay. It's called wasp. Have you seen how a wasp builds its nest for its child? Have you seen that? Usually it will build with clay, in which it has put its saliva and makes it wet. So first it will build that. And after building that small, thing like this, that house, the opening it will leave it empty, not covered. You have to watch all these things carefully. It's very interesting. It will come slowly, it will put something. Again it will go. Again bring something. Behind the window, somewhere it will do and create this. And then after some time, after this home is built, it will bring a small worm. Its child, small worm, a larva, it will bring. And that worm will be hanging. It will hold and it will bring. And it will put it inside. And then it will close it. And after some time it becomes a wasp and then it breaks open and comes. Poetically what we say, we don't say like this. Poetically, this is a poetic license, poetic imagination. Poets we can imagine. What is this? This is Kavi Samaya it is called. This wasp, now you see how the poet thinks. This wasp, after it has put this baby inside, this wasp mother stands there. Stands there. Where? In the entry, on the door, blocking the way. And it has got huge eyes. It stands there and looks at that baby. The baby is utterly mesmerized, hypnotized by that mother. Keeps on looking. In case this larva, that baby, moves a bit here or there, with its sharp proboscis or what. Again, the baby looks. No, don't look here, there, exactly. And in case, in utter fear of that strike from the mother, that baby meditates on the mother. And when the baby that meditates on the mother, the baby, which is a worm, Keeta, it becomes now a bhramara. So like that what, Swami? The same way, the guru catches a fellow. They find this fellow has got capacity, catches hold of. Brings him, keeps him in the Gurukula and looks at that fellow. Disciplines him. And the fellow also willingly takes the discipline. Because love. And continuously listening to the Guru's teaching, Shravana, non-stop reflecting upon the teaching, Manana, and meditating upon the ultimate truth which the Guru expounds. This jeevatma also becomes the same Paramatma. Bhaved bhramara-keeta-vat. Very beautiful. The first time I listened to it from Gurudev, my God, I can't tell you how it was. Jivan-mukta. This fellow who was earlier this ignorant fellow, suffering and going through ups and downs of life, becomes totally changed. Finally, the process is the same. Process is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, reaching to the ultimate Samadhi. Only such a person is a Jivan-mukta. Only such a person. What is Jivan-mukta, Swamiji? Jivan-mukta is a person who is liberated even while living. Liberated even while living, even when being present in the body, mind and intellect, is beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect. The limitations of the body, mind, intellect are no more his limitations. A saint is a Jivan-mukta. May Bhagavan bless us that we all grow to become such Jivan Muktas. The very fact Bhagavan thought that we deserve to gain this knowledge shows Bhagavan's faith in us. That we can. We have to strive. How do we strive? First, perform your duties well. Karma Yoga. All spiritual life starts with Karma Yoga. And once the mind becomes pure, everything. The very fact that you are all sitting here shows that there is an amount, an element of purity and goodness. That itself shows. That itself shows that there is an opportunity for us. We have to keep walking. Okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.